Today, Camp Nou delivered a spectacular surprise. The LED lamellas have come alive, lighting up the stadium in multiple colors and patterns, while earlier today, another major milestone was reached with the final pillar of the compression ring installed. The latest XXL box is also now in position, meaning the compression ring has officially entered its final phase. So let's take a look at all the latest developments from this historic day at Camp Nou. The ceramic lamellas have now undergone a major LED lighting test, with different colors and lighting patterns being displayed across the installed sections. The test shows how the lamellas can transform the stadium facade into a dynamic illuminated surface, with the LED effects also reflecting onto the surrounding sandwich panels and structures. This was the first clear demonstration of the full color range and visual effects that the LED system will bring to the completed stadium. The compression ring has now entered its final phase, with the latest XXL box successfully installed in the Gol Nord area. At the same time, the final pillar of the 46 main pillars has been installed, marking a major structural milestone. With the main pillars now complete, the focus shifts to installing the remaining smaller boxes and connecting elements in the central section. Only the final structural components remain before the compression ring can reach full completion. VIP ring work continues around the VIP ring with rendering and finishing treatments progressing across several sections. Workers are using elevated platforms to apply the final surface treatments to the exposed walls and structural areas, gradually preparing the ring for its finished appearance. Several areas are already showing a much cleaner and more finished look compared with the exposed structures seen earlier in the project. The ceramic lamellae across the south goal and lateral areas have made significant progress. Most of the facade is now covered, with several of the remaining small gaps recently filled. The curved pattern of the lamellae is becoming much more visible, giving the stadium its distinctive Barca-colored exterior appearance. With the remaining sections gradually being completed, the overall facade is now starting to look very close to its final design. LED lighting installation is progressing across the ceramic facade. Most of the installed lamellae already have their LED fixtures and connections in place, while workers continue completing the remaining sections. The lighting system is now becoming an important part of the final appearance of the south goal and lateral facade. The combination of the illuminated lamellae and the curved facade is expected to create a completely different visual effect once the system is fully operational. The third tier continues to receive finishing and structural work, particularly around the upper levels and access areas. Work is progressing on the remaining sections of the superstructure, while finishing activities continue around the completed areas as the stadium moves closer to its next operational stage. At the same time, work around the surrounding access and circulation areas is continuing to prepare the section for its upcoming use. Concrete works continue around the south core corner and inside the second cantilever. The concrete pump has been active in this area over the past few days, focusing mainly on the upper structural section. Workers were also seen polishing one of the concrete pillars, while additional structural work continues around the corner. The surrounding area remains active with workers and equipment, indicating that these structural works are continuing steadily. Installation of the green cables for the LED lighting system is progressing across the south core and corner areas. Several elevated platforms are being used to connect the cables to the LED fixtures, with a number of sections already completed. Work continues on the remaining lights, particularly around the newer lamella installations. More and more fixtures are now receiving their connections, creating a clear pattern of progress across the lighting system. The lamella support system is still awaiting further work in some sections of the south core. The existing sandwich panel areas remain largely unchanged, with the additional grill-like support elements still to be installed. Workers are continuing preparation work before the next phase of lamella installation. The completed sections are already taking shape, while the remaining supports will allow the ceramic facade installation to continue. Interior construction is progressing inside the south core retail and diamond areas. Workers are building new block walls beneath the diamond structure, while reinforcement is being prepared for formwork and concrete. Additional construction materials are already positioned in the area for the next stages of work. The newly constructed walls are gradually defining the interior spaces, with further structural work expected to continue around them. The mobility cores in the lateral section are now very close to being fully covered with sandwich panels. Only small sections remain, while a few ceramic lamellas are still waiting to be installed. LED cable installation is also continuing throughout this area, with several fixtures already fully connected. The remaining gaps in the facade are now relatively small, making this one of the areas closest to full completion. Work has restarted around the lateral diamond structure, with new block walls being constructed underneath it. Reinforcement has also been prepared, with formwork being installed around the structural sections. This area is now showing clear progress after remaining relatively quiet for some time. The latest work is beginning to transform the previously open area beneath the diamond into a more defined structural space. The second-level sandwich panel installation at the corner has now been completed. The remaining areas are still undergoing painting and finishing works, while workers continue structural operations around the diamond and surrounding sections. Additional steel elements are also being installed along the beams. This section has therefore moved quickly from panel installation into the finishing and structural stages. The exterior of Gol Nord remains relatively quiet, with no major new sandwich panel installation visible in the central mobility core areas. The existing panels remain in place, while most of the ongoing work appears to be taking place inside the stadium. The lamella areas also remain largely unchanged, with LED lighting work still to begin in some sections. Although there is little visible activity from outside, construction continues in the interior areas that cannot be seen from this viewpoint. A new large compression ring box has been lifted into the Tribuna area and is now being carefully positioned. The box is being rotated and aligned to connect precisely with the existing radial beam and the adjacent box. Workers are preparing the connection points and bolts as the structure is brought into its final position. The operation requires extremely precise alignment because the box must fit between the already installed structural elements. There is significant activity inside the Tribuna stand, with many workers operating across different areas. New interior materials are being installed, while structural, wall, and finishing works continue. One of the mobility cores has also reached another important stage, with the sandwich panels now fully installed and additional steel elements already positioned above them. The rapid progress in this area is visible across several levels, with multiple teams working simultaneously on the interior and structural finishes. Work continues beneath the second cantilever, where protective systems and structural elements are being installed. The lower sections are also receiving further attention, while workers continue operating around the stairways and underneath the cantilever structure. The installation of these protective and structural elements is gradually extending across the underside of the cantilever. The final corner is showing strong progress, with several elevated platforms actively working around the lamella support structures. The main support system is already installed across large sections, while the remaining areas around the mobility cores continue to receive new supports. Additional finishing and painting work is also progressing around the structural elements. Several teams are working simultaneously in this area, and the amount of visible activity shows that the corner is moving forward at a strong pace. Today's biggest milestone is the installation of the final pillar of the compression ring, officially completing the pillar phase. At the same time, LED lighting, lamellas, sandwich panels, interior construction and structural works continue across the stadium. With only the final boxes and 2 radial beams remaining, the compression ring is now entering its final stage. The focus is now firmly on completing these last structural elements and bringing the compression ring closer than ever to its final connection.